Disrespect is something we all encounter at some point. It's uncomfortable and emotionally triggering. But what if we approached it through the lens of Stoic philosophy, a way of thinking that empowers us to handle adversity with clarity and composure? In this video, we'll uncover 10 Stoic practices that can help you respond to disrespect with strength and wisdom. Stay with me until the end. Your mindset might just change. 1. Remain calm. Stoicism teaches that it is not external events that trouble us, but our perceptions of them. As Epictetus wisely stated, it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. To remain calm in the face of this respect is to reclaim your sovereignty over the mind. The words or actions of another do not possess the power to unbalance you unless you grant them such power. Their disrespect, no matter how cutting, is merely noise if your judgment remains steady. A true Stoic understands that inner peace is not given, it is cultivated. When provoked, take pause, breathe, withdraw inward and observe. Is my anger justified or is it a reflex of pride? You will often find that calm is not weakness, it is strength under full control. Think of calmness as the fortified walls of a city ruled by reason. Disrespect may strike at the gates, but it cannot breach them without your consent. By refusing to engage with every insult or slight, you preserve your dignity and display a quiet form of courage. Let others be tossed by emotion. You remain still. This stillness is not apathy, but mastery of the self. It is the mark of one who has learned that true power lies not in domination over others, but in command of one's own soul. Number 2, practice empathy. The Stoics understood that we are all part of a greater whole, fellow fragments of the same universal reason. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature akin to my own." To practice empathy in Stoic terms is not to excuse the wrongs of others, but to understand their source. When someone disrespects you, look beyond the offense. See a flawed human being, not unlike yourself, perhaps overcome by fear, ignorance, or inner suffering. The Stoic seeks not revenge, but comprehension. For what good is it to be angry at a blind man who stumbles into you? So too with those who are morally blind. Their disrespect is often a reflection of their own internal disorder. When you practice empathy, you rise above the offense. You disarm the cycle of anger, and in doing so, you protect your tranquility, not by ignoring injustice, but by choosing compassion over contempt. This does not mean allowing mistreatment. It means responding with clarity, not cruelty. It means guarding your peace while seeing the humanity in others, even when they forget yours. Empathy, for the Stoic, is not weakness. It is a clear-eyed understanding that allows you to act with wisdom, not impulse, and to walk through life as a healing presence rather than another source of harm. Number 3, act with virtue. To the Stoics, virtue is not simply a moral suggestion, it is the highest good. All else, including reputation, wealth, or insult, is considered indifferent in comparison. As Seneca stated, virtue is nothing else than right reason. It is reason in harmony with nature, guiding us to live justly, courageously, wisely, and with self-discipline. When you are disrespected, you are presented not with a problem but with a test. A chance to choose. Will you mirror the insult, or will you embody your principles? Virtue is not something to be claimed. It is demonstrated. You prove your wisdom by remaining calm. You show your courage by holding to what is right, even under pressure. You practice justice by treating others not as they treat you, but as your character demands. Number 4, engage in self-reflection. Self-examination is a pillar of Stoic practice. The Stoics believed that the unexamined life is one governed by impulse, not by reason. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When faced with disrespect, do not rush to blame others. Instead, turn inward. Ask yourself with honesty, did I contribute to this moment in some way? Did my words or actions reflect my values? Am I being ruled by ego or by virtue? Such questions clear away emotional fog and bring the situation into rational light. To look inward is not to blame oneself unnecessarily. It is to take responsibility for one's own character. This is the Stoic path, to focus not on what was said to you, but on how you respond. And the response always should be governed by virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Through self-reflection, you not only learn about the situation, but also about yourself. You expose hidden weaknesses and strengthen them. You clarify your purpose and align yourself with your highest principles. In doing so, you grow not smaller in the face of disrespect, but greater. A Stoic does not look outward for validation or revenge. A Stoic looks inward, seeking truth, applying reason, and refining the soul. Number 5, pause before reacting. The Stoics recognized that our first impulse is rarely the wisest. Seneca cautioned, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." In that short space between stimulus and response lies the opportunity for virtue or error. When someone disrespects you, your instinct may be to retaliate, to defend your ego with sharp words or cold silence. But this is precisely when the Stoic steps back. Do not be hurried by emotion. Instead, pause, not out of fear, but out of discipline. This pause is a sacred space. It is where the rational mind reclaims control from the passions. In that moment of stillness, ask yourself, what would a wise person do here? What response reflects my principles, not my pride? To delay your reaction is not to avoid the problem, but to elevate your response above it. The pause becomes a form of strength, a sign that you are not a slave to anger or impulse, but a master of your own behavior. Number 6, accept what you can't control. At the heart of Stoicism lies a profound insight, the dichotomy of control. As taught by Epictetus, there are things that depend on us, our thoughts, choices, and actions. And there are things that do not, such as the behavior of others, fortune, or fame. Peace begins when we make this distinction clear. Disrespect from others belongs to the category of the uncontrollable. You cannot dictate how others behave, what they think, or what they say. But you can choose how to respond. And in that choice lies your freedom. When you accept what lies beyond your influence, you cease to be a slave to the opinions and moods of others. You stop fighting the external world and begin mastering your internal one. As Marcus Aurelius advised, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Number 7, use humor. The Stoics did not reject emotion, they refined it. And among the refined tools of the wise, humor held a quiet place of power. As Seneca noted, you have mastered yourself when you know what should not be taken seriously. In the face of insult or rudeness, humor becomes a shield, not to mock, but to disarm. A light touch, a well-placed remark, a smile in the midst of provocation. These are the signs of someone whose emotions are under their governance. Humor, when used rightly, reflects detachment, not indifference, but perspective. The Stoic sees that many offenses are small in the grand scale of life. Why be wounded by the words of one whose judgment holds no weight over your character? By laughing gently at absurdity, you rise above it. You declare through wit or calm levity, "This will not disturb my inner peace." You turn tension into air, conflict into silence. But the Stoic cautions against ridicule or cruelty. True humor is not aimed to wound, but to release. Number 8, set boundaries. Stoicism is often mistaken for passivity, but to live in accordance with nature, as the Stoics taught, is to live with strength and justice. A Stoic is not a doormat. A Stoic is a stone pillar, steady, firm, and unmoved by the winds of disrespect. When you are treated poorly, you are not obligated to remain silent or passive. To endure does not mean to permit harm. Rather, it means to respond with virtue, not vengeance. Setting boundaries is an act of justice both to yourself and to others. You calmly inform those who cross the line that their behavior is not in alignment with reason or respect. And you do so not in anger but in clarity, holding fast to your principles. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. You do not need to mirror poor behavior, but you must also not reward it with silence. To speak truthfully with composure is not aggression, it is integrity. The Stoic draws boundaries not from ego but from self-respect. You are not controlling others, you are governing yourself. You are choosing the company you keep and protecting the character you are building. In a world that often confuses loudness with strength, the Stoic stands firm in quiet authority. Your limits, set with firmness and fairness, signal to the world, I know who I am and I will not be shaped by ignorance or injustice. Number 9, choose forgiveness. Forgiveness to the Stoic is not a favor granted to others. It is a form of self-liberation. As Epictetus taught, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. To carry anger is to shackle yourself to the very person who wronged you. Forgiveness breaks that chain, not by excusing the offense, but by refusing to be owned by it. The wise do not cling to bitterness because it clouds judgment and poisons the soul. A Stoic recognizes that every person acts according to their own understanding and often their ignorance. To forgive is not to say what you did was right. It is to say what you did will not define my response, nor my inner state. You cannot control others, but you can govern your own heart. In choosing to forgive, you remove the sting of injury and replace it with clarity. You protect your peace, not by forgetting, but by placing the offense in its rightful place, the past. True forgiveness is a conscious choice. It arises not from weakness, but from strength of character. It demands courage to let go of resentment and wisdom to understand that no insult is worth the cost of your serenity. To forgive, then, is an act of mastery, a declaration that your soul answers only to virtue and not to provocation. And the last one, shift your perspective. Perspective, for the Stoic, is not a mere mental exercise. It is the lens through which the entire world is interpreted. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Disrespect often feels sharp not because of what was said, but because of how we chose to see it. A Stoic reframes the insult. Is this truly harmful or simply unpleasant? Will this matter tomorrow or in a year? Does this define who I am? If this helps you, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.